What is going on? Oh, it is Sunday. We got up and did a run this morning, so we're off to a good start. Hopefully everyone saw the post on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or wherever you follow the Financial Mirror. But if you didn't, so today's topic is a topic that I think is very important, obviously, or I wouldn't be talking about it, but more importantly for every person to hear about, because ultimately retirement is going to happen whether you like it or not, right? So I was talking last night, and I was finishing putting some touches on what I was going to talk about, and I don't know. The more I started thinking about retirement, the more that I got kind of excited about doing this stream today, because I don't think that. So previous streams we've talked about budgeting, or we talked about debt, or we talked about your financial position, right? How well you're equipped financially, how to improve. How to judge yourself, but this one is a little more. I think this is more of a topic that people understand that's going to happen, right? But I don't think that people take it seriously in a sense that it is going to happen. Like, you're going to have to retire, you're going to have to stop working, you're going to be physically unable, or you're just going to get to the age. I mean, I don't know how to say it any more nicely, but you're just not going to be able to provide to whatever skill or trade that you've developed over time. You're not going to be able to provide to people at the rate that you once were. So with those limitations in mind, right, you've got to start prepping for that. So I think the biggest thing is knowing that that's going to happen, that you begin to develop what you want in your future. Like, what do you want your retirement to look like, and that you start planning for that now. So I'm going to hop right in, because I have a lot to talk about. I did a lot of prepping for this. I wanted to give the retirement, the laws around retirement, the amount of money that you can contribute to retirement. That changes. Doesn't change every year, but it changes periodically. So I wanted to give you the most up-to-date, latest information. I pulled stats for some of the retirement plan changes, how retirement is shifting. I've talked about it on previous streams, but I want to re-mention it here today. But the biggest thing is, when you think about retirement, you think about finances, right? You don't really think about how the decisions that you're currently making are affecting your retirement. So we've talked about the debt. We've talked about your budgeting, setting aside. We haven't really talked about how those things are impacting your retirement. So how that debt is impacting your retirement. So we've got to hit that and understand that those decisions that you're making now are going to affect your retirement. So when you're later on down, I'm not gonna say there's a retirement age. There's not really a retirement age. You can retire whenever, and I'm going to go over some of the things you have to look for when you're ready to retire. But there's not a retirement age. People throw around ages, but it normally is the age at which the government will fund your retirement, and that obviously is changing drastically. So we won't talk about age as much as criteria. That's the big thing that I want to focus on, is retirement criteria. So what does it take to be able to retire, and not need the government to help you? You don't want to plan on the government helping you, because they may not. Like I said, policies change, laws change. What is allowed now may not be allowed in the future. What's provided now may not be provided in the future. So we don't want to rely on that. We want to rely on ourselves. So um, not to make this awkward and not to make cliche, but what I want you to think about is 5, 10, 15 years from now, where do you see yourself? So it's pretty cliche. People always ask you, what are you looking forward to in the future? What do you have planned for your future? What do you want to do? What do you want to experience? Where do you want to live? How big of a family do you want? Like all these things that people will ask you about your future. But it's pretty cliche to think about, but how I want you to think about it today is 5, 10, 15 years from now. When you think about that, what's going to keep you from doing it, from achieving whatever that picture is, whatever picture comes to your mind when you think about those time frames? What's going to keep you from getting there? For some, it may be education, it may be some certification or some knowledge piece that you're missing, but for many others, it's going to be finances. So when you're thinking about that the finances being the part that's going to keep your future from being exactly the way that you want it, that is something that we have to start focusing on now, that we need to focus on today, because ultimately that is for most people going to be the limiting factor that's going to say, okay, this person will not achieve their 5, 10, 15 year goal because they were unwilling or unable to adjust their financial position today, that they were unable to build upon the wealth that they needed to be where they wanted to be. And people look back and they realize that they wasted a lot of their time doing XYZ when that wasn't getting them closer to where they wanted to be, 10 or 15 years from now. So if you think about that time frame and it makes you anxious, it makes you think that you're not going to be able to get there, or you're, that your current financial position is going to affect you, then you're wrong. You can change what needs to be changed to get to exactly where you want to be at. So the anxiety that you feel about those things are the same anxiety feelings that people that are at the quote unquote retirement age, that's how they feel. People that are at the point where they physically can't work or they physically can't contribute, that same anxiety is the same anxiety that they feel because they're now approaching an age where they realize that they can't be an employee to earn an income, that they've got to figure out something else. That's a lot of pressure to put on someone that hasn't properly prepared, that hasn't properly done the things necessary to set themselves up for that age at which they can't work. That's a lot of pressure on that individual, and that's where I want to help get you into a position where you don't have that pressure, you don't have that burden, that you're still trying to support you and a spouse or yourself or what have you, that you're very well grounded financially, that you don't need governmental assistance, that you don't need all of these things, that you're going to be able to make it. So think about this and how you don't want to have to rely on others to help contribute to your financial well-being later on. And it's not a scare tactic, it's more reality that it's going to happen. You're going to get to the point where you can't work. You're going to get to the point where you can't do what needs to be done, and it's a lot's changing. So what's working right now, what people are benefiting off of at a retirement age is going to change drastically from what you may experience. So that's the first thing that I wanted to cover is how the retirement structure is ultimately changing. So how retirement is, or was, or kind of is, and kind of was, is if you look back at, or if you ask your parents or your grandparents how they fund their retirement, it was not uncommon for there to be some sort of pension-based retirement that they were given. So a pension is nothing more than a amount of money that is paid out to the individual for the rest of their life after they've given a certain amount of time to that organization or that industry or whatever, and they retire from that occupation. So with that being said, that is a previously used retirement structure. So pension-based retirement is not near as predominant now as it was back then. So with that in mind, I wanted to go through. I did a quick search to see which industries currently still are offering new hires that pension plan. Okay, this is what I got. So if you work in any of these industries, you may or may not, this may or may not be a retirement setup for you. And I'm going to go over how you don't have to rely solely on this. You don't want to rely solely on this. But 89% of teachers, so teaching in public, so it went over primary and secondary education, along with public and some private schools are paying out pension retirement. So 89% of teachers are still being offered a pension retirement upon their employment at a school system. 86, so almost all local and state government, and that's to include the public school teachers, right? Kind of falls into the same category. But 86% of state and local government employees are still being offered a pension. Utility companies, this could be the electrical, the water, anything like that, still being offered a pension, or still being offered some form of pension for new hires. Nursing is another one. 42% of nurses still being offered pension plans. Union workers, staying long and strong. They are fighting for that pension. They want to keep that pension. 80%. And then finally, I wanted to bring up, because probably the most or once thought retirement was military, and military has changed drastically, and that they are no longer offering a pension-based retirement for all new enlistees into the military. They're being offered it's called a blended retirement system, and it's nothing more than a 401k for military service members. So prior to, I forgot the date, but there was a date that all service members had to elect if they wanted to be on the old pension or blended retirement. So if you're a military individual and you're looking to enlist into the military, you're no longer being offered the 20-year retire and be paid forever deal. So that's a big thing, right? Is moving away from that pension structure. So more and more, you're starting to see that these pension retirement plans are out the window. You can't rely on it. You can't rely on something of that nature to fund your retirement. So it's vital that you jump in and you say, all right, I'm going to take ownership of my retirement. I'm going to take, hey, what's up, John Ray? Just saw you pop in there, man. Good to see you, dude. So it's vital that you start to contribute to your own pension, per se, and you start to contribute to you take onus of your retirement. So number one way, so what most companies offer is a 401k. So everyone's heard of it. Some may understand it, some may not understand it. So I'm going to go over pretty in depth. I'm gonna spend a lot of time on this one because almost all individuals that are working in the workforce right this minute are more and more being offered 401k plan. Now, so if you if you are allowed, and I'm going to say that because some 401k or some companies require you to work a certain number of months or a year or whatever. You have to look up your individual company and their plan, but more and more are providing this, but you may have to work 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever, to be able to start contributing. For others, it may be that timeline just to have matching. So it's crucial that you go and you find out what is your company's policy on 401k contribution. So once you figure that out, the basic structure, very basic structure of a 401k plan is this. The money is most of the time, I'm going to say that because you can, I'm starting to see more that are allowing you to do after tax money to contribute, but for most 401k plans, they're pre-tax based. So before your money is you pay your tax bill on your income for the month, they go ahead and take out the 401k contribution, whatever percentage or dollar amount that you elect. All right. The basic structure is that at 59 and a half years old, you can start to draw money out of your 401k plan. So knowing that right there, if that's your plan for retirement, you have a 59 and a half year minimum that you need to make it to stop working and draw money out. All right. So right there, that sort of sets you, if that's your only retirement plan, that is when you can retire, is when, if that's going to be your income and you're going to stop working, 59 and a half is a year that you can look forward to stop working and start living off your nest egg. Right. So if for any reason you decide to pull money out before 59 and a half, you're taxed on it at your tax rate as normal income tax, but you're also hit with a 10% penalty on that income as well. So you off the top lose 10% of the money, and then you're taxed at your normal tax rate. So the best thing is to never rely on a retirement account for income. They allow it. They allow it's your money, so they allow it, obviously, because at a 10% penalty, where they can hold 10% of your money, that anybody's going to let you jump into it. But it's best to leave the retirement accounts alone. Don't look at your retirement account for income, not short-term income, not emergency income. Let's start here to say, don't touch your retirement account. I mean, if all else, try your best to not touch a retirement account. Okay. So huge misconception around 401ks. A 401k is not stuck with the company that you started with. Okay. And I say that to say, if you move companies and you want to pull your 401k plan with you so that you can centrally manage the distribution of funds for that 401k plan, it is not required that you keep a 401k. So if I work for a company A and I have a 401k there and I leave company A to go to company B, I can move my company A 401k to company B. I can consolidate the two. The process is pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to do. You fill out a form. As soon as that form is submitted to company A, or company A probably has some company that manages their retirement accounts, you submit to them and say, hey, I want to move it over to XYZ account. All right. All you have to do is get the information from company B for the account it's going into, and they literally write a check to that account as a deposit. So that money never touches your bank account. All right. That's how you get around not paying taxes on it. It's not income. You can't touch it. The check is pre-filled out for the receiving account. You can't touch it. Okay. So huge misconception. You don't have to manage 15 retirement accounts because you don't have to say, well, I don't plan on working here very long, so I'm not going to contribute a 401k. No, that's not the smartest thing. So you should contribute to your 401k, and you should easily be able to contribute, move all of your consolidate your 401k accounts if necessary. All right. The good thing is that if you open a 401k account with someone, that money can be housed there. It's very, very rare that they make you move the money. Okay. So with that being said, if you liked company A's structure or whoever was in charge of the monies, let's say Fidelity is running company A and Charles Schwab is running company B, and you like Fidelity's platform better, you could just leave the money at Fidelity. You still have to keep your Charles Schwab open, but as soon as you leave that company, you can move that to Fidelity. If you're tracking what I'm saying, you can manage the 401ks the way you want. I just highly encourage you to continue to contribute. All right. So moving on to the next thing. How the plan works is you elect normally a percentage. I've seen some that allow dollar amounts, but normally a percentage of your income that says X number of percent of my annual income I want to contribute to a 401k. So if you made $50,000, for instance, and you wanted to contribute 5% of your annual income, that means every year you're going to contribute $2,500 a year. So I think that equates to like $100 and something a month. All right. Or whatever, a paycheck. I mean, if you pay twice a month. So if you contribute $2,500, that's your annual. The percentage is annual. So you could also look at it. It's really 5% of your check, however you want to look at it. But the percentage technically means that percent of your annual income. All right. So with that being said, there's the biggest benefit of 401ks is employer matching. So your employer is going to match what you put in up to certain percentages. So a basic structure may be dollar for dollar up to 3%. So if you did 3% of your annual income, the company would match whatever you put in, whatever 3% of your income is, they're going to give you that same amount. So double it. So we'll use, for instance, so if you did the $50,000 and you decided to do 3%, you're going to put in $1,500. Your company is going to put in $1,500. All right. So pretty simple. You got a free $1,500 sitting there. Now your $1,500 contribution is $3,000. All right. So as you can see, if your employer is matching money, you should be contributing up to the max matching that they allow. What you have to look for in matching is there's 3 types of employer matching. So you have actual employer matching, which is that structure I just talked about, which is dollar for dollar up to a certain percent, whatever. Then you have a non-elective, which is your is a certain amount of money that regardless if you contribute to your 401k or not, if you have a non-elective 401k option on your plan, the company is putting X number of dollars, let's say $500 into your account, regardless if you contribute or not. And then you have profit sharing. Profit sharing is obviously the more profitable the company is, the more of the profit they share amongst their employees. So if they're extremely profitable and they put up a high, good, great, whatever you want to call it, profitable year, what they're doing is they're gonna thank their employees for helping contribute to that profitable year, and they're going to provide profit sharing amongst their employees. They're going to take some of that profit and give it back to the employees for as a token of appreciation. So very much a kind gesture. But even with those, normally you can still contribute and get some matching sometimes. So please look for those 3 words. So employer matching, non-elective, profit sharing. Look for those words. Look for those options on your 401k and see what your company is offering. All right. So very important. 401k retirement planning is extremely, extremely important. So The other one, and so this one, I do want to hit this one. So another concept of 401k, and some people get this confused. Some people don't understand it. They say it out loud, but they don't understand what it is. So some will say we match 5%. All right. But then it'll say dollar for dollar up to 3% and 50 cents on the dollar for 2%. All right, so that's 5%. They're technically matching 5%, but dollar for dollar is just up to 3%. So knowing that, you've got to realize you're not going to get, like, exactly what you contribute is not going to be what they give you. All right. So I'm going to use the same $50,000 example. So $50,000 you put in, $50,000 is your annual income. And we're going to say you're doing 5% because you want to meet that full match contribution. So 5%, you're putting in yourself out of your check, $2,500. All right. If they were 3% dollar for dollar, 2%, 50 cents on the dollar, what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up putting in $1,500 for the dollar for dollar 3%. So 3% of 50,000. And then they're going to contribute another $500 for the remainder. All right. So that's for the last 2%, 50% on the dollar, or 50 cents on the dollar. So hope I didn't lose anyone. Hope everyone was tracking that. So what ends up happening is you have a total contribution of $4,500, of which you put in $2,500 of it. So free money. Please, I can't advise you enough. Free money for your 401k. Meet the match, and that's okay. More than the match, and you're boosting that nest egg. All right. So that's very vital. All right. So what I want to show you, and I didn't plan this. I like to do everything live so that you can see exactly what I've got or what I'm looking at. So we're gonna go to Google Sheets. We did this last time. I'm gonna use Google Sheets for everything that involves a little math. So let's pull up a blank one. All right. So everything's live here. All right, everything. So we're gonna do annual income. All right, and then we're gonna do 401k contribution. All right. Let's drag that out. So 401k contribution. And then we're going to do income taxes. All right. And then after income taxes, we'll do take home pay. All right, so 50,000. We're going to stay with the easy math. So $50,000. All right. So we're going to do we'll do a 5% 401k contribution, and then we're going to do a 22. Actually, I'll do a 26. Incorporate. We'll try to get an estimate of about how much state and federal would be. Okay. Now, all right. There's a 2,500 that I was talking about earlier. So a 5% 401k contribution, $2,500. All right. So we're gonna say that. Okay, at the end, I'll show you the matching and all that afterwards. Right now, the end goal, what I want to show you is how 5% of your take-home pay, which is pre-taxed, so this is all coming before, this is all coming before your tax, okay? Income taxes haven't hit yet. So this 2,500 is coming out before it, all right? So actual tax, so actually I'm gonna do this. We're going to do taxable income, and we're going to do that. So I'm going to make this a spreadsheet that we can play with, and I can show you this is not that. So this should equal that minus that. Isn't that what I did? Oh, it's making this a percentage. So let's do this. And let's make this a, is it data validation in this? No. What is, oh, it's up here in it. Let's make this $1. So 47,500. All right. So what I want to show you is how we can turn $50,000, right? So we're going to do, now we're going to tax it $12,000. So our take home, this is annual take home, okay? Is that minus that. $35,000. So but this is the kind of stuff that like I said, if you have trouble with Excel, message me, contact me, go to the website, put in a contact form, and I'll happily help you. Or if I can figure out a way to add it to my website, I'll start uploading some of these spreadsheets that I play with, and you can mess with them. They won't be pretty. I'm not fancying them up yet, but you could do something like this. But per month take home is going to be this divided by 12. All right. So that's what we got. So we're looking at $2,900 a month take home of a $50,000 income, getting paid monthly. You could break this down and say if you get paid twice a month or you get paid bi-weekly, you could divide it, out by 26 and get you your bi-weekly. So we could do like I really want this to hit home for you. So I'm gonna do a bi-weekly. Monthly and bi-weekly is probably the two ways that people get paid the most. So that would be bi-weekly or bi-weekly take home. So this is the kind of stuff. So what I want you to see is that because all of this happens up here, this pre-tax contribution, because all of this 401k contribution is happening above this, I'm going to make this red, is above this red line right here. Everything is happening up here. You're earning income, you're contributing to your retirement, and then Uncle Sam's taking his money. What I want you to see is at a 5%, this equaled, we'll stick to the monthly because that's what you're budgeting, right? You're budgeting for your month. So the monthly take home at 5% contribution is 29. Let's try 0%. This is all I want you to see. So at 0%, let me put this above. This is the message that I really want to land with you. I really want to land this. So if you don't get it, pop in the chat box. Let me know that what I'm saying does not make sense. But I really want this to land home. I really do. So because of the contribution all happening before that percent, this is the difference. $154 is your difference in contribution, in take home, excuse me. So the point I'm trying to make here is I'm gonna show you a couple percentages because there's a nice little break even, about break even point where you can say, all right, that's affecting my take home too much. But what I want you to see is that contributing, you're almost losing money by not contributing is what I really want to hit home. I really want to hit this home. You're almost losing money by not contributing. So for this 5%, this is how much we didn't take home that month. Okay. And if I did, this isn't fair. So I need to show you this divided by 26 as well. So at 5%, 96.15, I'll be exact. I set aside 96.15. That's how much I set aside, okay? I set aside 96.15 that month, and I took home a whopping, my take home was affected $154. So let's try 7%. 7%. My take home for the oh, I messed this up. Oh, I messed this up. Sorry. Back up. Beep beep. That's the truck. All right. So this divided by 12, because this is I'm saying that to say this. This is monthly. I'm going off of monthly. So the 29/29/17 is monthly. That's what I went off of. So I knew something didn't look right. So you're actually saving. So what I was trying to hit at, you're actually saving more than your take home was affected. Make sense? Good. So you actually were in the green. I want all this to the light bulb just to click. So you made right there. You made in the green $54.17 by not allowing that to be taxed. Okay. So now let's jump up to 7%. Let's play with 7%. This is some good stuff. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. You have to start seeing this. So 7%, your take home drops a little bit, right? So our take home drops down to that 2867.50. So our take home is decreasing. It is decreasing, but that's where you have to. You've got to come up with how much can you affect your take home before you start eating into what you can do with it. What I like to show, so this is nothing more than that. So our change in take home from 0% to 7% is $215. We saved a whopping $291.67. So the difference in those, $75.84. All right. So you can see we're still saving money, more money than is being taken out by doing this. So we're going to go up to 10%. That's $5,000. 10%. Our take home now is $27.75 even. All right. And our how much our difference is excuse me, is equal to that now minus that. So 308. All right. But we saved $416.67, meaning once again we are saving more than we're losing by not. So the more you're contributing is great. Is obviously great because you're getting not only the matching is 3%, you're getting all your matching plus you're contributing more, right? So I could be going in and talking about how these numbers are also being matched and you're saving. I'm not even adding in what your employer's matching, but this is really simple layout of how your 401k contribution is absolutely the easiest way to save for retirement. Absolutely easiest way. All of this is pre-tax money. It's all coming out before your taxable income pops in. It's all before anyone can touch your money. So I'm just gonna show you what the recommended amount is. 15%. Everyone, if you look up anything that says how much should I save, or how much how much should I be saving every month for retirement, you're going to absolutely see the number 15% pop out everywhere. So just real quick, so our how much we saved for this month is $625. You can see this number is getting massive. If we're saving $625 a month, that's pretty good. So it's getting massive, right? So and then this was, excuse me. So that's not 625. We're going to go with this. Our take home pay is affected $462, but we saved $625. So once again, pull this down, $162 saved. So I'm not going to belabor this point, but this is what I'm talking about, is that you mentally you're telling yourself, well, I'm not bringing home as much money. Well, I mean, you're right. you're giving away, if you want to look at it, you're giving $462 to your future. Now, that's not money lost, okay? So you're giving $462 to your future out of your current income, all right? Of the 462, 625, you're technically even 625 because 162 of it is you're profiting just by allowing that money to come out before you're taxed. So you're giving away $462 out of your paycheck. That's valid. So your take home changes $462. If $462 is too much for your take home monthly pay to be affected, you're not ready for 15%, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. If you're right here at 5%, I'm telling you right now at 5%, this number up here, $4,500? $4,500 a year is what you're saving towards your future. So don't get wrapped up in the fact that, well, I can only give 5%. Well, that's fine. Give 5% because there's a lot of people out there that are not. They're sitting right here at this 0%, and I didn't even write it in. This is a bunch of zeros. I mean, they're getting nothing. This is your take-home pay is what you earn, and you're taxed, $50,000 is taxed at 26%. You can change that. You can absolutely change that. You have to start contributing early. You have to contribute first off. The more you contribute, the better off you are. So I really want to, I'm not going to belabor the point, but I'm just going to do one last thing. I just want to show you. So if you contribute that $4,500 per year based off of your $50,000, and you're getting the contribution, which is you're only $2,500 of that is yours, right? So I just want to give you an example. So the stock market, which is your 401k, is going to be based off of different mutual funds, different stocks. You don't have to buy those individually. Whoever's managing it, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, trying to think of someone like TD Ameritrade, whoever is doing your retirement account, whoever's that 401k is through, that's who's doing your buying for you. So what I want to do, stock market averages a 7% return on average. So if you did a 7% return, that's how much you're returning on $4,500, right now. So if your 4,500 ends up being 48, and there's tons of charts out there, and like I said, I'm not going to get into building a whole new one. I just want this point of simple. This is that you contribute for 1 year and never contribute again. I just want you to see that your money will grow. It will absolutely grow. So don't think that because you can't contribute a ton, you can't contribute some astronomical amount of money, that your money is not going to grow. If you were with this company right here and you didn't contribute, but for the first year, you're looking at $5,152 after 1 year return, 2 years return. So please, I'm really insisting that if you have never looked at your company's 401k, or you don't have any idea of the breakdown of it, take the time. The challenge this week is to go and look into the retirement plans that are currently available to you. That's the challenge this week. The retirement plans currently available to you. Okay. So what I want to show you is this, or not even show you as much as I want to highlight. Actually, let's pull this up. So when we look at Social Security, so that's the next thing I wanted to hit. That's it's a sticky subject because of the fact that it's not supposed to be around, for people, especially my age, to benefit off of. So if you've never looked at this, or if you thought that Social Security retirement is the same for everyone, this is a structure or a strategy that is being implemented to try to preserve Social Security. Will it work? I don't know. We'll see. But what I want you to think about is that you cannot rely on Social Security to be your retirement. Okay, you cannot rely on a government that is. I'm not bashing the government in any way, but what I'm saying is that our U.S. government has a knack for not understanding or not being able to manage money. So if you want to put your retirement into the hands of someone that doesn't do well managing money, I'm not sure what your retirement plan really is. It's like asking a 6-year-old to say, "Hey, will you budget my money for me?" Because their budget is going to be, toys and ice cream. You cannot put your retirement plan at the hands of someone that, or in this case, an organization that has a tendency to not know how to manage money. So you've got to think about your future and setting yourself up to be able to achieve the kind of, or the picture of retirement that you want. So if you've never heard of what are a full retirement age or chart, or if you've never understood how Social Security works, I want to be the first to introduce it to you. So it's 62 is the initial age at which you can begin to draw your Social Security. So if you're almost at the age 62, or if you've surpassed the age 62, you are eligible after 62 to begin drawing your Social Security. Now, what I want you to understand is that you're benefited by waiting. So 62 is the minimum age to withdraw, but you are given a credit, or if the longer you wait past and you get to your full retirement age, you will actually get more of the money. Okay, so this is what I want to highlight. So 37, if you were born between the ages of 37 and 42, we don't see that one on this chart. This is I guess a more recent chart, but if you were born full retirement and age 62, sure. Okay, so if you were born before or between the years 37 and 42, your full retirement age is 65. All right. So if you draw at 62, you receive a 20% reduction. If you draw at 63, you receive a 15% reduction. If you draw at 64, you receive a 10% reduction. At 65, you're at your full retirement age, and you will draw your full amount. Okay? If you were born between 42 and 59, your full retirement year, right here, you can see it on this one this time, is 66. All right, and then I'm being general, so obviously you can see these months, pause. 66 is your full retirement age here or there. Reductions. If you draw at 62, it's 25%, 63 is 20%, 64 is 15%, 65 is 10%. At 66 is your full retirement age. You will get your full retirement money. All right. For people in my age group, so 1960 and later, so anyone 1960 and later, your full retirement age is 67. So they've moved it up another year. So our reduction starts at 30%. So 62, you get a 30%. 63 is a 25%. 64, you can see they go down 5% each. So 64 would be a 20%. 65 would be a 15%. 66 would be a 10%. All right. So if Social Security is around, that's the reduction that you're going to take on if you decide to take money out at 62 to whatever age I just said. So Understand that, and then understand one more thing. So you've got that. So you reach the full retirement age. Do you have to start drawing then? The answer is no. You do not have to start drawing at your full retirement age. If you're 65, if your retirement age is 65, oh, stream dropped. So, yeah, I went over a lot of stuff right there, but yeah, that was cool. So pretty much what you missed while I was sitting here talking to myself was the fact that there's a gap in your how much you contribute to 401k, or excuse me, your Social Security. 8% increase if you're in the 65, 66, 67 age group. A 6.5 to 7.5% increase if you're in the 65 age group. Okay, so know that, know your retirement amount, know what your Social Security benefit is, and go with that. All right. So IRA account is the other vessel in which you can do your retirement. So with the IRA, what you're doing is you're going to put in, you're going to have traditional or Roth. So traditional would be basically the retirement account in which your money is going to go in pre-tax, and it's going to be taxed when you withdraw it. If your money is going into a Roth, you're going to pay the taxes beforehand, but you're going to draw tax free. So which one should you go into? The first question is your Roth IRA has to you have to meet there's an income limit. So if you're single, it's 139,000. If you're married, it's 206,000. So know that first. And I'm going to hit IRAs in a future stream, so I'm not going to talk as much about them, but just know that if you're going to use a IRA and a 401k together, what a lot of people do is they tax diversify, or what they do is they have, if their 401k is pre-tax money, which most are, what they'll do is they'll do a Roth IRA for their IRA account, which just allows them to have money that is going to be withdrawn tax-free. So when they take money out of their 401k, that will be taxed, but then when they draw money out of their IRA account, it won't be taxed. It'll be tax-free. So it's sort of where you're not double paying taxes when you go to withdraw. Okay, so that's the concept, or that's the idea behind that. So just make sure that you understand, which the different vessels that you have to put money into for your retirement, and then go with that. So for the average retirement age per, the Social Security web page is 63. So if the average retirement age is 63, that's when most are going to stop working, but it's really up to you on when you stop working. So a couple of questions to ask yourself if you're thinking about retiring. The first question you ask yourself is, are you debt free? Because when you retire, the less that you don't want to have any debt, and the less your expenses are monthly, it makes your how much you need to live off of that much less. So we want to have as little expenses as possible when we retire. Very, very important. Very important. So make sure that you have as little expenses as possible, and then that can help with your income, how much you're required to have as an income. So with that being said, the house is included in this. If you can eliminate your house from your expenses, that is a huge plus for you, because expenses wise, your home or your living is one of the more expensive things that you have in your budget. So We want to get debt free first. That's step one. Can I retire? Are you debt free? If the answer is no, you cannot retire. Work, pay off your debt, retire later. The second thing you have to do is you have to decide what your standard of living is. So if your standard of living is going to be, a shack, okay, lesser standard of living, cool. If it's a mansion, higher standard of living, cool. Decide on what that is, and then we can start making. You have to create a budget around that standard of living. If you're almost at the retirement age, something that you can do when you do this is you've got to you can practice retiring. And I say that and jokingly, but you could set that budget and see. This is after you've paid off everything. This is when you're getting ready to retire, right? Not right now. Not while you're still, not for me right now, but maybe for you right now. But when you're getting ready to retire, everything is paid off, and this is the position that you're in, and you're establishing that. Try to live only on the amount of, create a budget and say, I'm going to try to live on just this. See if you can. If you can't, we either have to adjust the budget or we got to keep adding to the nest egg. All right. Plan on retiring before age 59. This is important because 59 and a half is when you can draw out your 401k, and your IRA is about the same. So know that money can't be touched before 59. So if you plan on retiring before 59, you've got to create another vessel of money for you to be able to retire before then, whether that be stocks, investments, savings account, something. Savings account, be careful with, because the annual percentage yield for savings right now is 0.75 to 1% maybe. So COVID affected that a lot. You used to get almost 2%, 1.75, 2% on high yield savings accounts, but be careful with that, because that's going to be your nest egg until you're 59. So whatever you create outside of those retirement accounts, that's the nest egg to get you to 59. So if you can build those up enough, or you can make money without the need of anything else, go for it. Do it. I encourage you. Retire early, but test run that retirement. Figure out how much it's going to be for you to retire. And finally, the last thing that I wanted to show you is this. Let's get this. Last thing I wanted to show you was, I can't get that. So let's just go to this. Fidelity.com, calculators, tools. All right, so, didn't find it. So let's just do Fidelity, retirement, score tool. That's what I was looking for. There we go. Go do this. If you're early in your retirement, just go through this. So I'm just gonna make some stuff up. What's your most current recent income? We've been playing with 50,000. Let's do 50,000. Let's say that we were only at that 4,500. We're our first year in. We've saved, how much you save each? Oh, I messed that up. I said we had 4,500. Let's say we're our second year in. We're doing another 4,500. Standard of living. So let's say you'll spend the same. Let's say you do 50. Yeah, balanced. Boom. We're on track. Look at that. We're doing good. So if our retirement age is, let's drop this down to 59. What are we at? Oh yeah, we're doing good. Monthly. Oh, that's a monthly saving. Oh snap. That's not how much we're saving monthly. We're saving like, what was it like? That's the reason why it was so good. Let's say we're saving like that 15%. It was like $600, right? So to save $1,500, you can see if that's the most you saved, you need to retire. If that's the most you ever saved, you need to retire by 70, roughly 70. Yep. So go play with this. See how on track are you for your retirement, and see what you come up with. Worth looking at. So that's all I got. Once again, I'm apologize for the stream cutting out. I still don't know what happened. For everybody that stuck around, I appreciate it. But next week it'll be the same time, Sunday, 1 o'clock. And I'll see you then. Peace.